the sports podcast with the youngest, most daring, intrepid, gutsy, fearless host on the planet. Get ready for Jake's Takes. Here's Jake.
My guest today is a forward on the Colorado Avalanche. He was selected by the Sioux Falls Stampede in the 2013 United States Hockey League draft. He was named captain of the Stampede and led them to winning the Clark Cup. In 2015, he joined the Denver Pioneers. In his junior season in 2017, he helped the Pioneers claim the national championship and was named to the All-Tournament team. In 2018, he signed with the Colorado Avalanche and has become a staple in the Avs lineup with his grit, his energy, and his speed. It's my absolute honor to welcome to Jake's Takes forward for the Colorado Avalanche, Logan O'Connor. What's up, Logan? How are you?
Oh, that's quite the intro. Yeah, thanks, Jake. It's nice to be on the show with you.
No, thank you so much for joining me. I know you're currently on the road, so it's really appreciated for you taking the time. How's the California weather?
It's definitely nice. Denver's also got good weather, but California is always a little different with the palm trees and the ocean.
It's so funny because whenever I go to Miami, I see fans come into the games in shorts and flip-flops. And I'm sitting here in Toronto when yesterday we had 32 centimeters or whatever it was of snow outside. And it was up to my hips. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, Canada's different type of cold for sure, especially compared to Miami.
Yeah, it's very cold. So you're a right winger with a right-handed shot. So that's kind of what I play. For the last few years, though, my coach moved me to left wing. Have you always played on the right side, or have they mixed you up a bit?
Yeah, for the most part, I've played on the right side. Growing up, like you said, the situation you're in now, bounce around a little bit more, get comfortable in different positions, I think is great. Played left wing for, growing up here and there, as well as center. But since I've turned pro and even college for the most part, I've pretty much stuck to right wing, just playing on my, strong side.
Anyways, let's get right at it. So you ready to talk some hockey?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, you guys are currently sitting in first place in the Western Conference, and you're playing some phenomenal hockey. I watched the game last week against the Leafs when you guys went down, I think 3-0, and then stormed back for the OT win. What's the vibe within the team? How confident are you guys? Do you guys think you can beat anyone?
For sure. I think right now we're playing with a good level of confidence and swagger in our game that has helped us to go on a pretty good streak here. We had some injuries at the start of the year, but, right now, at least knock on wood, we've, stayed relatively healthy. And then just everyone's playing within the team structure. All the lines are playing well. Everyone's contributing in different ways. And then, obviously talk about our top line. And, I think they're the best in the league. So they're producing on a game by game basis every time.
Yeah, you guys have crazy speed, and that's what I love about you guys. It's very, very impressive. But when playoff time, the game is very different. The whole game tightens up and everything, and it becomes much more physical. Do you think that you and the guys will be able to adjust to that style of hockey?
Definitely. I think we've learned from the past couple of years. We lost to Dallas in 7 games before. And losing to Vegas last year was disappointing. So I think we've learned from those mistakes on, playing tighter hockey that you talk about, playing harder to play against. And it really starts defensively, I think. If you have good team defense, you can really work throughout the ozone on top of that and go from there. But we definitely have learned, and, we're going to continue to learn throughout this season to, figure out our team identity even more to make us tougher to play against when playoff times do come.
So my friend, he's actually a very big Avs fan. So he always, whenever the Avs win or when you guys beat us in overtime, the next day he rubbed it in our face so much. I'm like, really? really. Anyway, I want to talk about your game. So I read an article, and it said the following: whenever Logan's on the ice, you know he's making a difference every night for the Colorado Avalanche. I also saw what GM Joe Sakic said about you, that you're a hardworking player who brings speed and energy, and they're excited to have him. How have you earned this reputation so quickly?
I think that's sort of been the staple of my game throughout my career. I'm not the most skilled player, but try and, bring something to the table every time I'm on the ice with work ethic and, using my speed to jump on pucks, try and be tenacious. That's sort of the staples of my game. And I think that's what's given me success at all levels. My game hasn't exactly changed too much from when I was, your age type thing to now. It's just grown with some intangibles. But, the base of my game has stayed the same. And I think the biggest thing is probably my work ethic, just constantly trying to leave it out there on the ice.
So, if you would compare yourself to any player in the NHL right now, who would it be?
Oh, wow. That's a really tough question. That's a tough one. I'm gonna have to think on that one. That's
or maybe there was like a player you looked up to growing up, anything like that.
I mean, growing up, it was just from Calgary, Jerome McGinley. He's obviously, like I tell people in Denver that aren't as familiar with hockey, but Joe Sakic's, the equivalent in Denver hockey. Just great community person and works hard, great leader. So Jerome McGinley was probably the one I looked up to when I was, growing up in Calgary, watching the Flames go on some good runs there.
Yeah, Jerome was very good, very good.
Yeah.
Anyway, you get to watch, some spectacular teammates day in and day out. Nathan McKinnon is just ridiculous. And talking about speed, he's got it all. When he waits back on the power play and then gets that draw pass in the neutral zone, full speed for the ozone entry, it's just crazy. It's almost McDavid-like. Besides for his speed, though, what makes Nathan such a great player?
I think obviously his hockey IQ is just, he's moving at such a quick pace, but to be able to have that IQ keep up with, his legs is unbelievable because things are just moving that much faster for him. You see a lot of guys with a lot of speed, mentally they can't really keep up as much, but with him, he's always one step ahead, reading plays, and he's just quick thinking out there. He's always making a difference in games. He's just so hard to defend. He's so strong in the puck. He's a horse down there, down low. When he cuts back, you really can't defend him. It's so hard. You watch anyone in the league and they have issues sticking with him. So we're definitely lucky to have him, but it makes for some tough practices going up against him. That's for sure.
So, where do you rank him in terms of the best players in the league? McDavid's number one. We can't argue about that, but is he number two?
I mean, I just seeing what he does every day, I think he's number one personally. Obviously, there's the argument with McDavid, which is, for a good reason, there's that argument. But, what he does on a game-to-game, every game is, pretty special. And this, especially come playoffs, I think he just elevates it to another level. And, we're really going to rely on him here down the stretch and hopefully into the postseason.
That's awesome. I mean, I hear what you're saying about him being number one. I hear that.
Little biased maybe, but I think so.
Okay, I got to talk to you about your blue line for a minute. Specifically, though, Cale Makar. Wow. Don't know what else to say about him. The way he walks the line, his skating ability is just off the charts. What does he have already? What is it, 15 goals as a defenseman? Something like that. Seriously, how good is Cale Makar?
He's unbelievable. Same thing with McKinnon. The things he does every game, you just are amazed at, and he constantly surprises you. I think he's the best defenseman in the game, and I think he's going to be that way for a long time. He's got a bright career ahead of him, and he's taken huge strides this year, like you mentioned, with his goal scoring abilities. He's got such a good shot, and he's so elusive up there on the blue line that I think when he gets it off, goalies aren't really expecting it because he can, snap it pretty quick and it comes hard. So he's been great for us. Obviously, he's the quarterback on that power play, and he distributes the puck well to those guys and makes defenders, tough to read against him up there. And you want to honor guys, but anyone on that power play unit's, tough to control all of them.
Is he a vocal leader? Does he speak up in the room, or does he just lead by example with his play?
Yeah, he speaks up a bit. I'd put him more so on the side of, by his play, leader by example type thing. But he definitely speaks up. He's one of the guys, he doesn't talk often, but when he does, everyone listens because, he really means it when he does say something. So I think he's, getting more comfortable, just growing more as a vocal leader, which is great for us.
So another teammate of yours who I know a lot about is Nazem Kadri, and he's having a career year. He's on pace for some crazy stats. He's really developed it into an incredible centerman. He just got he's now an all-star, I believe. What's he doing to have all this success?
He's such a patient player. It's crazy watching him sometimes, and the poise he has with the puck. In all situations that, opens up plays for his defenders, almost back off him. I've never personally, knowing how I play the game, it never makes sense to me how he creates so much time and space by just, looking players off and being so poised at the puck. So he's been great for us. He does a really good job on that power play too. He plays the middle guy. And I think, he often gets overlooked based off of the other players we have on our team. But you look at his numbers this year and, he definitely deserves to go to the All-Star game. So we were excited that he got that nomination. He's been great for us as, the second line center, and has really been really good for us here.
Now on Jake's Takes, it's game time, and we're playing some rapid fire. I'll ask you a bunch of short questions, and you answer them as quick as you can. Deal?
Yeah.
Okay. Does Joe Sakic ever join you guys on the ice?
No, he did in the bubble, though, with the Black Aces a couple times, which was awesome.
Describe Mikko Rantanen in one word.
Goofy.
Who would you rather have, Artemi Panarin or Patrick Kane?
Ooh, I think Patty Kane.
Toughest player in the NHL?
McDermott.
Favorite cartoon character growing up?
SpongeBob.
Denver Nuggets or Denver Broncos?
Broncos.
What's your most hated team in the NHL?
Vegas.
Brady Tkachuk or Matthew Tkachuk?
Matthew Tkachuk.
Who does Coach Bednar pick on the most?
Ooh, whoever deserves it.
Does that mean you get picked on a lot?
It comes and goes. I think everyone gets their fair share.
I'm just messing around. Which player in the NHL is the best trash talker?
Marchand's probably tough to beat.
We got a winner! Logan O'Connor with a beautiful performance in that rapid fire. You gave it 110%, just like you always do. How'd that feel, Logan?
Yeah, it was great. Thanks for good rapid fire there.
Okay, Logan, before I let you go, I just want to ask you two more questions. Is that good?
Yeah, perfect.
On November 27th, 2019, we're bringing back the dates. You scored your first NHL goal. What do you remember about that moment? I mean, it was probably extra sweet since it was against the Oilers and you were raised in Calgary.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's pretty special. That's a moment you definitely remember for your whole career. Everyone will always ask, how do you score your first NHL goal? So definitely relive it often when people do ask that. And it was nice to get against the Oilers, the little animosity growing up as a Flames fan. So it's one I'll remember forever for sure. It's one of the, memories that'll stick with me.
Do you ever wish that you could just once play in the Battle of Alberta? I mean, it's such an awesome atmosphere. It's awesome.
It's a great rivalry. Yeah, I think that's probably one of the best rivalries in hockey right now, especially the past couple of years. They've really taken it to another level, and both teams are, competing for playoffs right now. So that could be interesting come playoff time.
Yeah, I remember watching the game where Cam Talbot and Mike Smith had a huge fight. That was so sick.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't see goalie fights that often, but it came around and I got to see it. I was like, yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Anyway, Logan, I had a fabulous time today talking hockey with you. And to be honest, I've always liked the Avs, but now I got a real reason to love them. Did you enjoy your time with me today?
Yeah, Jake, that was awesome. Really cool what you're doing here. So thanks for having me on.